Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Happy New Year 2023 to you all. Today is 1st January 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. We have been discussing in my vlog about the various famous English proverbs, one of them being face is the index of the mind. Yesterday, in my previous video, we talked about the introduction part of this particular proverb. Today, we shall take up a particular case history which will tell us how true this particular proverb, face is the index of the mind, is true. There was one gentleman called Manjunath who lived in a place called Konanakunte in the city of Bangalore in India. He was a lawyer by profession and he was quite successful and affluent as a professional lawyer. This man had one daughter whose name was Shubha, who was equally brilliant and who was studying for her law course to follow in her father's footsteps as a lawyer. These people had a neighbor who was Manjunath's close friend. This friend had one son called Ashwin, who was a software engineer by profession and who was working in a multinational software company in a respectable position. When Shubha, Manjunath's daughter, came to marriageable age, Manjunath decided to look for an alliance for her who would suit her. His eyes rested on this close friend's son Ashwin, and they all decided with mutual consent that Ashwin, the software engineer, and Shubha, the would-be lawyer, should get engaged. A grand gala ceremony followed, and Ashwin and Shubha were engaged in that particular ceremony. Everyone seemed to be quite delighted, happy, and contented by this particular alliance. 2 days after the engagement, Shubha suggested that she and Ashwin should go for an outing in the city. Ashwin readily and gladly agreed. Both Ashwin and Shubha went to the city and had their lunch in a respectable hotel, after which they both loafed around in the city for some time. On their way back in the evening, around dusk, Shubha suggested to Ashwin that they should stand for some time or spend some time in a overbridge overlooking the Bangalore airport so that they could see the planes flying and landing from the airport. Though Ashwin was slightly surprised, but just because he had got engaged recently, he played along. He agreed to this. Both Shubha and Ashwin stood near the railing of that bridge and they watched those ships, those planes flow, fly and land in the airport respectively. Suddenly, at around 7 or 7:30 p.m. in the dusk, someone crept up from behind with a very heavy rod and crashed it down so heavily on Ashwin's back head that this guy fell down instantly. Shubha began to wail and ask for help. The public came, rushed to help her, but by that time the assailant had vanished. The public, along with Shubha, took Ashwin to the hospital and admitted him there. The doctors saw him and then declared that he had already passed away. Ashwin had been brought dead into the hospital. Shubha was distraught. The families were totally shattered after such a good news a few days back. This was a tragedy which was unimaginable and uncontrollable for such decent families as Manjunath and the close friends. They wailed and they wanted to know why God had been so cruel to them. As it was a sort of accident, the matter was referred to the police. Everyone was baffled. Shubha told the police how these two had decided to go for an outing. They had lunch in the city, roamed around, came back, and they were watching those planes fly and land on the airport on the bridge near the railing when the assailant struck from behind. The police could not make a head or tail of this. However, in the department, in the crime branch, there was a very brilliant sleuth. This guy, when this case was referred to him, asked for the video of the engagement ceremony. He was provided that video. This guy watched every face in the video very closely to find out if the enemy was present in the ceremony and he had planned to kill Ashwin even 2 days back. As this sleuth was closely watching or studying the faces of the invitees of the ceremony, his eyes finally rested on both the bridegroom and the bride. The bridegroom, Ashwin, looked jubilant, happy, and he was smiling. But this youth was stunned to find that Shubha's face showed a lot of anger, resentment, and extreme hatred for Ashwin, even as the alliance was taking place. This intrigued the sleuth, who nailed Shubha and interrogated her. Shubha was surprised. She could not believe that her own face will give away what was happening in her mind. Actually, Shubha was in love with someone and so she hated Ashwin from the bottom of her heart. And it was she who had planned with her lover to kill Ashwin. Shubha was arrested, tried, and sentenced. The bride had killed the bridegroom. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular story. Kindly give me your own opinions, ideas, and thoughts in this matter so that I may blend everything together for the case for the sake of the society. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of my other videos. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.